Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, you're going to remember or have a recap about the ratio and proportion. Ano ba ang ratio? Ratio is the comparison of two quantities which is obtained by dividing the first quantity by the other. If A and B are two quantities of the same kind and with the same units such that B is not equal to 0, then the quotient A over B is called the ratio between the A and B. Ratios are expressed using the symbol colon, yung dalawang tuldok. This means that ratio A over B has no unit and it can be written as A is to B. Yung colon niyan, yung kabasa niyan ay is to. You can read that is to. For example, there are 3 blue squares to 1 yellow square. Yung ratio niya is 3 is to 1. It can be written as 3 over 1. 1 cup of milk in every 2 cups of flour. That is 1 is to 2. Or in fraction, it can be written as 1 over 2 or 1/2. There are 4 coins in every 2 jars. In ratio, it is written as 4 is to 2. Since yung 4 and 2 ay mayroong common factors which is 2, i-divide natin. That is, yung 4 divided by 2 is 2 and yung 2 divided by 2 is 1. Kailangan din yung ratio natin ay naka-lowest term. In fraction, 2 over 1 or 2:1. We have here the formula for the ratio. A is to B can be written as the fraction na A yung numerator at B yung denominator. Ang tawag sa A ay antecedent at ang tawag sa B ay consequent. For example, sa 4 is to 7. Yung 4 natin ay yung numerator at 7 or yung B or yung consequent ay ang denominator. Let's have an example. The ratio of the number of sides of a square to the number of edges of a cube is... Ilan ba mayroong square sa isang cube? Mayroon tayong 6 squares. And yung edges ng cube is 12. So, it can be written as 6 is to 12. Since yung 6 is to 12 ay hindi lowest term, we're going to convert it to the lowest term. Factors ng 6 ay 1, 2, 3, and 6. At ang factor ng 12 ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. We're going to get the greatest common factor. Yung 1, 2, 3 ay common sa kanila, pero yung greatest nila ay yung 6. Okay? Greatest common factor. And that greatest common factor, yung 6 na yan, we're going to divide the antecedent and the consequent by that. So, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. Therefore, yung ating ratio dito ay 1 is to 2. Another example. There exist 45 people in an office, out of which female employees are 25 and the other remaining are male employees. Find the ratio of, letter A, the count of females to males, and letter B, the count of males to females. Let's start muna sa letter A, count of females to males. Ilan ba ang females? Ang females ay 25. Total number of employees, ilan? That is 45. In order to get the number of males, subtract lang natin yung total number of employees to the number of females. So, count of males ay 45 minus 25. That is 20. Therefore, mayroong 20 males sa isang office. Now, we are looking for the count of females to males na unang binanggit yung female. Therefore, yung number ng female dyan ay maging antecedent natin. Kailangan siya yung mauuna kasi siya yung unang binanggit. So, siya yung 25. Diba? Siya yung magiging antecedent natin. Then, to be followed by the number of males. Ilan ba? 20. Now, 25 and 20, hindi siya nasa lowest term, diba? So, we're going to convert it. Find the GCF of these two numbers, which is 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So, meron tayong 5:4 na ratio. Anong ratio to? The count of females to males. Naunang binanggit yung females. Now, the count of males to female naman. Ilan ang males? We have 20. And yung females natin ay 25. So, again, find natin yung GCF ng dalawa, which is the number 5. Yung antecedent or yung 20, i-divide natin ng 5. That is 4. And yung 25 or the consequent, i-divide natin ng the same number na GCF. That is 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Therefore, the ratio of the count of males to females is 4:5. Kailangan always yung titignan kung sino ang unang binanggit sa ating ratio kasi siya yung magiging antecedent natin. Always na yung unang binanggit ay ang antecedent. Here, we have here an example. Nag-appear to sa mga civil service na exam. Let's answer this. Share 48 pesos in the ratio 3:1:2. So, how do we do it? How to calculate ratios of three numbers. Step 1. Find the total number of parts in the ratio by adding the numbers in the ratio together. So, we're going to add lahat ng numbers sa ratio na to. We have 3 plus 1 plus 2, that is 6. And step 2 natin is find the value of each part in the ratio by dividing the given amount by the total number of parts. So, 48 divided by 6 is 8. Step 3, multiply the original ratio by the value of each part. Yung value ng each part natin ay 8. So, we're going to multiply it sa ating ratio. That is 3 times 8, 24. 1 times 8, that is 8. And 2 times 8, that is 16. Therefore, kung i-share natin ang 48 pesos sa ratio na 3:1:2, it will become 24 peso, 8 peso, and 16. Or 24:8:16. Punta naman tayo ngayon sa proportion. Proportion refers to the equality of two ratios. Kailangan mayroong dalawang ratio na nag-exist. At hindi lang sila basta ratio, they must be equivalent ratios. Kasi ang proportion ay two equivalent ratio palagi. Proportions are denoted by the symbol na dalawang colon or sometimes equal sign. And they help us to solve for unknown quantities. In other words, proportion is an equation or statement that is used to depict that the two ratios or fractions are equivalent. For non-zero quantities, A, B, C, D are said to be in proportion if A is to B is equal to C is to D. Example, we have here the ratio 3:5. And we have here the ratio na 15:25. Diba yung ratio, pwede siyang ma-rewrite as a fraction. So, 3/5 and 15/25. ang 3 over 5 or 5 or 3 divided by 5, ang sagot niya ay 0.6. Same goes with 15 divided by 25. It is 0.6. So, kung pareha silang 0.6, pwede natin sabihin na itong dalawang ratio na to, they are equal. Equal sila, di ba? Kasi pareha silang 0.6. Now, kung equal sila, we can say that our two ratios, 3:5, is equal to 15:25. Pwede siyang masulat na ganyan, merong equal sign, or pwede din ganito. 3:5, dalawang colon is 2:15:25. Okay? Again, 3:5 is equal to 15:25. Let's have an example para mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba ang proportion. Find the missing number in the following proportion. Blank is to 8 is equal to 12:32. So, in solving proportion, meron tayong ganitong form. A is to B equals C is to D. Yung numbers sa mga dulo, yung A at D, tawag sa kanila extremes. At yung mga numbers naman na malalapit sa gitna, tawag dyan ay means. So, in order to solve for the proportion, ay meron tayong product of the means o yung magkabilang dulo, i-multiply, equal sign natin or equal to the means or B times C. For example, of here, let the missing number be X. So, meron tayong X is to 8 is equal to 12:32. Again, yung means natin dito ay X at saka 32. So, we're going to multiply yung X at 32, pati din yung means, yung 8 at saka 12. So, multiply natin, at after i-multiply ang extreme, at the same time, pati na rin yung means. Tulad nito. So, what is the extremes? We have X times 32, yun yung extremes natin, at saka 8 times 12, yung means natin. After that, let us multiply. Yung X times 32 ay naging 32X, while yung 8 times 12 ay naging 96. 8 times 12 is 96. Since we are looking for our X, hindi 32 na X, we're going to divide both sides by the number na katabi ng ating X or the coefficient. We have 32. Kailangan natin i-divide both sides para wala tayong ma-violate na rules in equality so that our proportion must remain equal. Kailangan may equal pa rin siya. Kasi kung sa kabilang side lang tayo mag-divide, hindi na siya magiging equal. Tama? So, we're going to divide both sides by 32. So that makakancel natin yung 32 dyan. Matitira na lang ay X na lang. And what is 96 divided by 32? That is 3. Therefore, yung X natin o yung missing number ay 3. So, complete na ang ating proportion, that is 3:8 is equal to 12:32. We have here another example. A photocopying machine can produce 60 copies in 3 minutes. At that rate, how long will it take to produce 180 copies? So, represent natin ang ating missing number na X. So, we have this proportion. 160 copies ang naproproduce in every 3 minutes. Now, kung meron tayong 180 copies, ilang minutes ang kailangan i-take para ma-produce yan? So, we have that proportion. Yung 60 ay yung 60 copies, yung 3 ay ang 3 minutes. Yung how long, yun yung tanong natin, yung X. At saka yung 180 copies, yun yung ating 180 dyan. Now, let's solve for the extremes and the means. So, we have here 60 times X is equal to 3 times 180. Again, yung extremes natin ay 60 at saka X. Yung means natin ay 3 at saka 180. So, we have here 60 times X is equal to 3 times 180. Meron tayong 60X is equal to 540. Now, ang hinahanap natin ay X lang, hindi 60X. So, we're going to divide both sides by, correct, by 60. So that, makancel natin yung number sa tabi ng ating variable o sa tabi ng X. We have here 60, makancel siya. Ang matitira na lang ay ang ating X. So, X is equal to, what is 540 divided by 60? That is 9. Therefore, our X is equal to 9. Ang proportion natin ay 60 is to 3 equals 180 is to 9. Therefore, kung kaya mag-produce ng 60 copies in 3 minutes, kaya naman mag-produce ng same machine ng 180 in 9 minutes. We are down to our last sample problem. If it takes 3 months for 100 volunteers to pack 12,000 bundles of educational packs for their outreach program, how long would it take for 150 volunteers to pack the same number of bundles? Maraming tao ang nagkakamali sa pag-solve ng problem na to kasi they are using the formula of proportion as it is. Well, logically thinking, kung titingnan natin, kaya daw ng 100 volunteers i-pack ang 12,000 na bundles in 3 months. Now, kung meron tayong 150 volunteers at same number of work pa rin or same bundles pa rin, meaning it should take lesser amount of time. Diba? Nag-increase tayo ng force, ng work. So, we're going to solve this in this way. First, we have to identify yung given ng problem. That is, 100 volunteers can pack 12,000 bundles in 3 months. And we want to find out how long it would take for 150 volunteers to pack the same number of bundles. Walang nag-change na workload, ganun pa rin, 12,000. Yung nag-change ay kung 150 na daw ang ating volunteers. So first natin gagawin ay determine the work done by 100 volunteers in 3 months, given by this formula. Work done is equal to number of volunteers times time taken. And work done is equal to 100, yung number of volunteers, and ilan yung time taken? That is 3 months. Now we have 300 volunteers dash month. Again, yung units natin, ipagtabi lang, i-multiply lang natin yung 100 tsaka yung 3. That is 300. Yung volunteers tsaka yung month, ipagtabi lang. Meron lang dash na naghihiwalay sa kanila. Now, we want to find out how long it would take for 150 volunteers to pack the same number of bundles given the same amount of work. Okay? So, we're going to let T represent the time it would take for 150 volunteers. So, work done is equal to number of volunteers times time taken. Ano ba yung work done natin? Yung work done natin ay 300 volunteers dash month. Now, number of volunteers, ilan na? That is 150 volunteers. And times taken, that is T. So we have here 300 volunteers dash month is equal to 150 volunteers times T. Next na gagawin natin dito, since we are just looking for the amount of time or the time, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 150 volunteers. So that yung matira lang dito sa right side ay yung letter T. That represents the time that would take 150 volunteers. Okay? Cancel natin yung 150 volunteers at 150 volunteers. And then sa baba naman, yung dalawang volunteers na unit i-cancel natin so that yung matira na lang ay yung months na unit. Now, what is 300 divided by 150? Our T is equal to 2 months. Therefore, it would take 2 months para sa 150 volunteers to pack the 12,000 bundles of educational packs for their outreach program. Do you understand? Actually, these types of questions nag-appear siya sa mga civil service examination. We are trying to expose you with these types of questions so that ma-familiarize kayo ano bang klaseng questions mayroon sa exam. Okay? So, practice lang sa pagsosolve, continue, and keep on studying. Thank you so much for listening and God bless.